Today we're here to talk to you about a project that we ran on the intersectionality between people from LGBTQ+ communities and also ethnic minority communities. We wanted to look at these particular people because actually they've been largely ignored or non-researched in modern history. And so we found that actually there were some specific challenges and issues that compound when you put these two elements together to create these certain types of issues and conversations which aren't often seen by other people and can sometimes fall through the gaps of established and traditional thinking.
All my life I've never really fit in any camp. My mum's Christian, my dad's Muslim, grew up in Kenya, born in the US, coming out as gay, and it's always been a subject I've always struggled with in the beginning when I was a kid.
I'm a senior research manager and work for Ofcom, a British-born Chinese man. Quite envious of kind of the generation below me now because the world is much more open place, whereas when I was younger, I wasn't able to kind of express who I was.
I grew up in East London. My parents are from Kerala, which is in South India, and they are a very devout Catholic family, and I now identify as an atheist.
What you get is this kind of layering of discrimination. Of course, you've started with that part of you which is overt and people can see, so your ethnic background, your name, or what you look like. But then you also layer on these elements of LGBTQ+ otherness.
I've got a Muslim name. I've never been Muslim, and people would make assumptions about me because of my name.
I didn't know what my parents' views were. It was at the time of civil partnerships being established, and I remember my mum when she said, "Oh, what is the world coming to? So, people of the same sex getting a partnership." So it kind of frightened me because I didn't want to kind of worry her.
Coming out was a very long struggle. I grew up in a country in Kenya where it's not really acceptable. Both my parents are quite religious, so Christian and Muslim. There was never any role models out there in Kenya.
And also the way that I was raised compared to my brother was really, really different. Stuff like an arranged marriage, that was spoken about from when I was well before I was 10. I just remember thinking, I don't want to get married at that age.
People create multiple identities at work, in a community, at home, with friends. That's hindering them from being their actual true selves and bringing everything they can to the table.
My parents have got my Facebook account. My father doesn't like it when I post anything that's LGBT positive. Just worried about him and his community and the impact it would have.
A number of places where I kind of had to rehearse in my head about what I did for the weekend, for example, my partner rather than my boyfriend.
People are spending time thinking about how they are perceived, how they act, and what they're saying. So how can we create those safe spaces for them? And actually they're free to be themselves.
Sometimes when I get asked questions about my sexuality at work, or if I get my behaviour challenged because I'm either too masculine or not camp enough or whichever, sometimes wonder if I have got an issue.
At some places I felt it was difficult to kind of come out because I didn't think it was the right environment.
If it organically comes up, then it'll organically come up. I said, I'm taking part in the intersectionality research. One of my colleagues said, "Oh, that sounds interesting, what's that about?" And I said, it's about black and brown people who are part of the LGBTQ+ community, what impact that has had. So I'll be talking about, me being South Asian and me being, the term I used was not heterosexual. So I guess that's the first time it's organically come up.
But I feel I don't feel comfortable expressing those parts of me at work because I'm there to do a job.
Comments were made and someone even directly asked me, am I gay? And I actually said, no, I'm straight, which I felt really awful and guilty about saying. And then I could see them sort of laughing and joking about it afterwards. It just felt really uncomfortable for me.
The company that I work for is open-minded. The leadership board does lack on an ethnic minority front. And I do wonder if part of my reason for not wanting to be leadership, to go higher up the ranks is because I feel like I don't know what I'd be doing up there because I've not had a role model.
So currently where I am at Ofcom, there are various different networks, and not just for LGBT or race. There's a women's network, there's a parents and children's network. So I think if the company has that and it's very prominent, then it makes things easier for people to identify with who they are and be true to themselves at work.
And I suppose we just have to hear all the voices, because sometimes I'm surprised by something's been said, but I wouldn't necessarily find that offensive, and vice versa. We just have to listen to each other.
It doesn't matter your minority. It doesn't matter. You can create a career where you will grow and you will succeed.
A lot of you are already doing some great work and have some great teams and initiatives out there. But what we're calling for is an overt inclusion. To have that inclusion running through the veins of your business, so that any of these people or any other people within minority backgrounds feel really safe, feel really happy and comfortable working with you and your colleagues in your businesses. And what that translates to is a more confident and efficient way of working, happier clients, happier co-workers, but also a more confident and forward-thinking business, which is incredibly important for the future of the market research industry.